inflationary index that you're talking about, an inflationary index for the alternative minimum tax. When are you going to do something for us on middle-income people?
Understood. Social Security, just to go right back to the social, it's a fair question, Blake. I mean, you raised it before. That tax, you're referring to the tax on income, on your Social Security. Yeah, that was imposed several years ago. Social Security is obviously is an issue that we have to protect the system. We have to protect it for you and for future beneficiaries. I think we all understand that. And I want to tell everybody that Social Security, if you're on Social Security now or nearly on Social Security, you're protected. Social Security, of course, is experiencing difficulties financially. For the first year, we are running deficits, and the issue that you've raised is a fair one and a legitimate one, and it's going to be addressed, I suspect, at some point in the broader context of Social Security reform. And that may not be the answer you want, Blake, but I mean, that's the reality. And so nobody's trying to punt on this or trying to sidestep it, but it will be dealt with, I suspect, at that time when this issue is going to have to be addressed. And Social Security is going to have to be addressed at some point.
It's unfair to do anything for these AMT people in that $100,000 and above income and not take care or do something. If you have to index it for inflation, okay, but those thresholds should be at least double.
Well, that's part of what people are talking about with the alternative minimum tax, for those of you who aren't familiar with it. Just simply trying to index it once and for all. Because every year Congress has to pass a patch each year to make sure millions of Americans don't fall into the trap of the alternative minimum tax, which was established back in the 1960s to tax about 50 to 100 of the wealthiest Americans and their families. And that was a tax on the rich, but it turned into a tax on the middle class in too many cases, or people who feel they're middle class. And so we extend, so essentially we try to each year extend it so that it's indexed for the year anyway, so that people don't get trapped into this AMT issue. So, fair question, Blake. Thanks for raising it again.
My name is Cynthia Eisenhart. I'll try to make it quick. It's a long story, but I'll try to make it quick. I know it's very limited time here. I was a foster mom here in Hellertown for 1 year, and I really enjoyed it. We had over 30 children. A lot of people think that doing foster care is, it is very difficult, but what the system did to our family, and it tore us apart, and I would like you to meet Nicole. Nicole is a 15-year-old girl that we're trying to get custody of, and we was turned down.
By whom?
By Children and Youth, and also an agency that we was working for that hired my husband and I. We passed everything that we needed to do to be foster parents. Like I said, we had over 30 children in our home, and it ended in disaster, and Nicole was one of the disasters. We had Nicole for a weekend in February, and then she came back for a week in March. We fell in love with Nicole, and we want to adopt her, but they won't let us adopt her. What the system has put my husband and I through, they have fired me. I'm sorry, I'm shaking.
But you know what, rather than you having to explain this publicly, why don't I have you sit down with my staff? We'll try to go over this with you. You had 30 children, you said you adopted.
I had 30 children, but what we're trying to do at this point...
Have you ever adopted any of them?
No, we're trying to adopt...
It's the first one you want to adopt?
Yes, we're trying to adopt Nicole, and they want to put... The state wants to keep her, and they offered Nicole to go into a program, and she has begged to come with us.
And I don't mean to cut you off, because obviously this is a very painful situation for you, emotional. I thought maybe if I could have you sit down with my assistant, Matt, and you can talk about this. I don't know if you want to share that in front of all the details of your case.
Well, I know it's a long thing.
Yeah, I mean, and I tend not to, I like to kind of talk about the broad policy issues here. With a specific problem like this, we can try to help you with this. But I'd like Matt, if you would be willing to do that, if you'd be willing to sit down with him, we'll go over that. Just go back to the other room so you can have a little privacy, and we can try to see if we can give you help. Sorry about your predicament. Thank you for being a foster parent, by the way. It's 30 children. That's one heck of a commitment. And,
yeah, we usually took siblings because we didn't want to separate.
Yeah, and sometimes, obviously, foster parents want to adopt the children they care for, and